understand the true value of something, we are moved to regard it with more respect, and we feel motivated to treasure and protect it too. With this in mind, I'm about to share with you 3 simple, powerful practices that can enhance every sphere of our lives. And here they are. Revere the starry heavens at every opportunity. Respect darkness and worship sleep. In fact, fall in love with each of them if you can, and encourage those you love and care about to do the same. Let me explain why. Watching the stars is good for us, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually too. Ada Blair, an eco-psychologist, has been one of the first people to document why. To begin with, there's the benefits of Nochalidor, an emotional attachment to or adoration of the night sky, a term introduced by the psychologist William E. Kelly in 2003. It's been associated with higher openness to experience, a rational, cognitive approach to problem solving, a tendency to become deeply involved and attentive to stimuli of interest, and a willingness to consider unusual ideas and possibilities. Basically, it makes us finer, more interesting, and effective human beings. This deep connection and desire to come together with the night sky is driving the dark sky movement and astrotourism, and it's what's brought us here today. And there's no mystery as to why. For many people, their relationship with nature is more powerful during childhood, and to rediscover it as an adult is to recover magic. Observing the starry vault at night helps us do that, and when we're in the hushed, nocturnal realm of mystery and possibilities, our inner light gets to twinkle. Not only that, the splendour of the night sky also remedies 2 modern-day maladies, namely the missing sky factor and nature deficit disorder. Oh, that's not right. What's happened? That's the grey head. Okay. Ada Blair's findings confirm what many of us here today already intuitively know, that the night sky is deeply restorative, therapeutic in fact, and it positively impacts well-being. It's part of the human condition to seek connection, belonging, and meaning, and the night sky offers this and much, much more. It is a galactic gateway to awe, wonder, and woo. Those who have seen a dark sky on a clear, moonless night and have experienced celestial vaulting where the boundaries between earth and sky dissolve, altering one's perception, they know and treasure its transcendent power. There's nothing quite as effective as uplifting the soul than the immense grandeur of the cosmos. And it's apt that we raise our heads from mundane matters here on earth to see it. Simply put, the vast majesty of the night sky triggers a human emotion we need much more of in our modern age. It's awe. Paul Pearsall, this is what he had to say: awe is an overwhelming and bewildering sense of connection with a startling universe that is usually far beyond the narrow band of our consciousness. Awe puts problems into perspective, motivates growth, and helps antidote a stressful lifestyle. We feel small in a beneficial way, more humble and aware of something much larger than ourselves, while at the same time our horizons are expanded and our consciousness is elevated. We even tend to favour experiences over material pursuits and possessions, while other feelings, positive feelings such as joy and gratitude, are signalled by smiling. Awe is different, and this is what it looks like. Our body responds with wide eyes, raised eyebrows, a dropped jaw, and a gasp. Researchers think these physical reactions facilitate complex processes in the brain via enhanced physical arousal and visual perception. Our system literally opens up and expands to take in the bodaciousness of the moment. As varied as the triggers can be, and as unique as our responses are, one thing is undeniable: all brings out our best. Unlike excitement, elation, and optimism, which bubble through the body and disperse, awe runs deep. And its effects can be lasting because it has the power to profoundly alter our mindset. Awesome moments force us to adjust our current understanding, which explains why we describe such events as earth-shattering, out of this world, and cosmic. One such cognitive shift is termed the overview effect, a life-changing experience reported by astronauts upon seeing the Earth from space for the first time. This is what Edward Gibson had to say about his overview experience. You see how diminutive your life and concerns are compared to other things in the universe. The result is that you enjoy the life that is before you, and it allows you to have inner peace. Here's the trick. We can easily have awesome moments wherever we are, and they don't have to be grand or rare. Just by focusing our attention, we can be captivated by the moment. This expands our perception of time, so it slows down. And when we feel time-rich and present, marvellous things happen. For instance, awe facilitates altruistic caring and kind behaviour. We are happier to make sacrifices because we're invested in the welfare of others and concerned too about the greater good. A sense of reverence also makes us more adaptive, curious, solution-focused, and less selfish and impatient. Such benevolent, pro-social behaviour encourages goodwill, fosters friendship, and strengthens society, all of which boosts well-being, individually and collectively. If astronomy were taught to every child, and nights were spent chasing the aurora, catching falling stars, identifying constellations, and making discoveries in the dark, our children would have more awe in their lives and be more likely to develop a lifelong interest in the cosmos and be part of more caring, kinder communities. I love this slide. Awe is the foundation for a healthy emotional life, and we can all be wondernauts with rich lives filled with breathtaking, eye-opening, jaw-dropping moments thanks to the night sky. Now, on to respecting darkness. Darkness, like solitude and silence, is a blessing vital to the human spirit and body. And when we deny the importance of half of our environment, the sky, and our diurnal biology, which needs darkness, we also deny our essential nature and our place in the universe. You see, we need dark at night to thrive. Indeed, we cannot flourish without it because our biological rhythms depend upon the dark just as much as they do upon the light. Humans have evolved with an exquisite sensitivity to light, and we have an equally complex and sophisticated wake-sleep cycle. Every single cell in the body has its own biological clock, and together, the body clock itself is one of the most underrated forces on our behaviour. So, the more in tune we are with this part of ourselves, and the more we honour the subtle yet powerful rhythms of nature, the more rewarding our lives become. Never before have our urban spaces needed more refugia or dark refuges. And our communities today can be vastly improved by nocturnal placemaking, the mindful creation and/or preservation of dark areas in built environments. To understand in more detail the benefits of darkness, I'd encourage you all to read this particular paper, The Value of Darkness, a Moral Framework for Urban Nighttime Lighting by Taylor Stone. It's one of the first comprehensive analysis of the value of darkness related to decision-making for urban nighttime lighting. New possibilities lie ahead if we design not just for less light pollution, but when we design with darkness in mind. For further insight, please read the following paper for the Centre of Conscious Design in London. This is one that I co-authored. Did you see that, or did I skip ahead? You got it? Yeah. Okay. So, while all sorts of important things happen in the dark, perhaps the most obvious is sleep. And although a third of our life is spent sleeping, and just how vital it is, it says a great deal about our culture. And compared to other areas of research, sleep still has many secrets. We do know there are genes in the brain that are only turned on during sleep, and these genes are associated with metabolism, restoration, and repair. Health requires tending to every cell's membrane, scaffolding, and transport systems. So it seems obvious from this, genetic weaknesses appear when sleep is poor because we're unable to undergo the repairs that keep them in check. We may appear to be passive while we rest, but inside all sorts of invisible processes are going on. Sleep is not a down state. In fact, some parts of the brain are more active than when we're awake, and every neurotransmitter is involved. As sleep researcher Matt Walker explains, sleep is our superpower. While we're still trying to unravel the precise roles of sleep spindles and switch us an impressive burst of electrical energy that help consolidate memories and more, recent findings continue to affirm the pivotal role of rest and just what an astounding process it is. Sleep isn't so much a pillar of health, it is in fact the bedrock upon which all else rests. I just want you to let that sink in because it's mighty, mighty information. It is the ultimate reset button, far more potent and effective than medication, and to boot, free from unwanted risks and side effects. It is our best hope yet for extending longevity and improving life quality. Now you may be thinking, burning a candle at both ends isn't such a big deal, that we can always catch up on sleep, right? Well, it's a very harmful fallacy. Human beings are the only species to willingly deny rest, and there's no evolutionary buffer that allows us to accumulate the debt in sleep and somehow pay it off later. Depriving ourselves of precious nightly sleep is one of the most misguided things we can do. Good sleep is an elixir for well-being. Indeed, all illnesses can improve from it. It is the best panacea and healing agent there is, right? Sleep is not an indulgence, nor is it a waste of time or a sinful sign of moral lassitude and physical laziness. Truly, it is so crucial, mysterious, and special. It should be sacrosanct. And our predecessors knew this. 400 years ago, Thomas Dekker, an Elizabethan dramatist, said this: sleep is the golden chain that ties health and the body together, and an old Irish proverb said this: a good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. Sadly, due to the industrial age, artificial light, incorrect notions about progress, we went astray. As silly as it is, skimping on sleep and overriding our biological needs is still considered a demonstration of dedication, discipline, and strength of character, especially in a competitive corporate world. Far too many of us tolerate our need for sleep instead of respecting it. The unsettling reality is sleep deprivation costs the economy billions in lost productivity, illness, and mishaps every year. And I love this quote. Oh, did you already see that quote? No. Where's my Jojo Jensen quote? No. It's not here. Anyway, you have to hear it from me. Without enough sleep, we all become tall 2-year-olds. When tired, not only does our reaction time slow, we also become more accident prone, which makes sense considering our decision making is impaired, our judgment off, and our mood disturbed. We also become more impulsive, and to counteract the physical pressure to rest, we crave stimulants like coffee and sugar, depending upon them to get through the day. This leads to another misconception. one consolidated 8-hour block is a modern-day adaptation brought about by the industrial age and artificial light at night. The truth being known, the type of sleep we're encouraged to have actually robs us of calm and other benefits. In a world once illuminated only by fire, humans experience segmented or biphasic sleep, where they fell asleep a few hours after dusk, woke in the night for a couple of hours, and then slept again until dawn. This kind of sleep used to be so ordinary it wasn't given much thought, but as the industrial age took over, as did the use of mechanical clocks and artificial light, it was almost all but forgotten about. Thankfully, we've been reminded, courtesy of historian Roger E. Kirch and researcher Thomas Weir, and their findings are fascinating. For instance, the period of wakefulness between sleep called night waking, the watch, or the hour of God, according to old documents, was a sacred time of prayer, reflection, and creativity. So what was it that made this time so special? Well, Weir discovered the hormone prolactin continued to be produced during the period of quiet wakefulness. And elevated prolactin at night produces unusual serenity and calm, along with crystal clarity. Although our brightly lit lifestyle means the blessings of segmented sleep are out of reach for most, there's still much to be gained from rejuvenating repose each night. But there's some crucial keys to getting the most from sleep, and I'm almost finished. We need exposure to bright sunlight in the morning, and our evenings best serve us when they are gently paced and dimly lit with warm coloured light sources. Remember too, that quality sleep, the best quality sleep, occurs in complete darkness. While we still have a great deal to learn about all of this, it is undeniable that the starry skies, darkness and sleep all play a much bigger role in our well-being than we ever imagined. So do yourself and your loved ones the biggest favour of all by honouring them. Okay, that's me.
This is because in English there is dark sky and so on. But darkness, in my German understanding of English language, is in a cellar which is completely dark. Well, the awe, I think, doesn't connect to darkness. I think the awe connects to starlight. So do you have...
Oh yes, the awe is from looking up at the stars.
So,
yeah. Was that not clear enough?
Yeah, it was clear.
It was clear? Okay, yeah.
So I'm asking because I'm interested in three conditions of the awe-inspiring effect of the firmament.
Yes.
So did you think what is needed for the awe-inspiration, and what would you recommend to do it artificially?
To do it artificially? No?
So, if you are inspired by the firmament,
yes.
Certainly the Decathlon firmament, this firmament here is beautiful.
Yes.
But how many stars, what kind of light do you need to get inspired as you imagine?
Well, I think it's just we're all here for the same reason, right? That's to protect the night sky. And that's because we know that it has that awesome effect on us. So the more we protect our night skies, the more awe everybody has access to. So really, we want to have quality night skies to be able to trigger that awe. If you don't see those stars, you don't feel any awe. It's not triggered. It's the vast majesty, it's the mystery of it, it's the stars, it's knowing that light has come billions of miles to reach our eyes, and whatever happened, it's history. All of those kind of things, that's what triggers awe. And you get that when you see skies like we got to see last night, briefly, out Mount John. So, does that answer the question? Oh, well, we'll talk afterwards. Is there anyone
Hi,
else?
Ethan. Hi, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Last night I got better and better and better. It's really great. So I'm an astrophotographer.
Yeah.
So I have a conflict though. So I totally understand the awe, and I go out there and the jaw drops, and it's wow. It's absolutely wow. It does all those wonderful things. But then we have to get a good night's sleep. So I have a real problem. Can you help me? Because I would stay up all night and take photos.
The difference is, starlight, that's what our ancestors had. They would have experienced segmented sleep and healthy sleep, and it's the artificial light that's an issue.
Yes.
But it is pretty tricky going out doing astrophotography when you've got to drive there, and you've got the headlights on, and
Oh no, I'm not talking about night. I'm talking about, I understand that I need to get 8 hours sleep and I should do it dark. But that's when I want to go out and take photos in the dark. It's one of my astrophotography workshops. I take people out at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, look, I do understand the dilemma there.
What am I going to do?
I think you can find a happy medium,
Yes.
because when you're out there with nature,
Yes.
you're getting the awesome
Oh my
effects of it. You are.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's indescribable.
You are
and
basically recovering magic by doing that.
Yeah.
That has a profound
Yeah.
impact on the immune system and
Yeah.
such.
I can stay up all night and then I want to get the sunrise coming up.
Maybe you should speak to
There's something wrong with that.
Sean. Sean might have some advice for you.
You can segment your sleep.
Thank you so
In the
much.
middle of the night.
You touched on ever so briefly that special time after the first few hours of sleep where you get a lot of REM, and then many people wake up for a few hours and then fall back to sleep again before dawn. That has been shown in recent sleep studies that were actually funded by NASA to be an important part of sleep and waking cycle. People often misinterpret that wakefulness for a couple of hours in the middle of the night and feel that they need to take a sleeping pill at that time, which is completely the wrong approach. And I was so interested to see you present that in a sociological, psychological slide. I thought that was very well done.
Well, thank you. There is one thing I'd like to clarify with that. The difference with our habits today is that we have bright light before we go to bed, and we miss out with the elevated prolactin. Now, if anyone wants to talk to me afterwards about what it's like to experience segmented sleep, I'd love to share it with you, because I did an experiment a couple of years ago where I wanted to immerse myself in this experience to the maximum. I spent a whole month where I had no artificial light at all as soon as the sun went down. And the experience was life-changing. I had no idea my body could create that kind of bliss. And I actually had a bit of panic towards the end of it, because it's like, how am I going to, I'm not going to be able to recreate this. You know, I wanted to shout it out to the world that everybody could experience this kind of peace and clarity and beauty in their life. And being a night owl myself, I wasn't sure what to expect from it. Anyway, if anybody wants to talk to me, we'll do it later, but it was amazing. And the difference is that we don't have that elevated prolactin when we have that wakefulness, right? And so the experience of when we wake, it's very different to how our ancestors had it. And I can attest to that, because when I woke up, it was so different to how I would do it normally. And that waking for the general population, that's not the segmented sleep with the beautiful slide with the calm serenity. It's, I'm awake now, what do I do? Have I got insomnia? You know, do I do my shopping list in my head? All of that. When you have the elevated levels of prolactin, you have peace and emptiness. And it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And that's the difference. And that's what all of us are missing out on because of our lifestyle. Yeah. Is that? Yeah.
So just to
Also, I think I need to mention to everybody that I'll be demonstrating the Amber Lunar Calm light at lunchtime. I'll be talking about it briefly tomorrow when I give my second talk. But if anyone has questions, please come up and ask me, because that's the light that was talked about by David and Lara. David did that wonderful presentation yesterday. So it's here to look at if any of you are interested.